Hi, I'm Sandy Genovese, and today we're going to look at how you can easily take a flat shape and make it dimensional, like you can see I've done here with this mug that I'm using to hold bags of tea and sweetener. And the idea is, I know spring is coming and the weather's nicer, but I still have a lot of friends who have been sick with colds and flus, and I have a couple who had to go to the hospital for some minor surgery. This is a fun thing that you can take as a gift that's filled with, in this case, I've got sweetener and tea bags, but you can have little individual coffees. You can have Crystal Light for things like lemonade, all kinds of fun things. And the idea is how easy it is to take a flat shape like this and turn and make it dimensional, like you can see that I've done here. The dimensionality is going to be added at the end. The thing you want to start with is decorating the front while it's still flat, because it's easiest to decorate while it's flat. So in order to create this, what I did was I started with 2 of the mug shapes, and I also cut a spoon that's going to sit inside, and I'm going to decorate the mug with some patterned paper. Now, if I start to layer these shapes on here, you can see that this is not cut the way I want it, but the reason I haven't worried about it is because this is going to sit right over the top and you're not going to see it. So let's begin by layering. I'll just start with the top. If the first thing is going to be so that it looks like there's coffee or tea in here, I don't know if it matters. That does seem to look better that way. So what I'm going to do is just put adhesive on the back and attach this. Did I turn that upside down? I did. Attach this to what looks like the top of the mug. Now, if you want it to look like it's got a swirl of any kind of sweetener or cream, it's easy enough with a white pen to go back and add in that detail. And how much detail and how deeply you want to add this is just based on time. How much time you have to add in more or less of the white. So when you've added that detail in, then the next layer is this, but I thought it really stood out better with a little bit of red. So I'm going to put adhesive on the back. You can see that I've just taken a piece of yellow, and all I've done is cut a strip of a deeper shade of yellow and then added the stripes, but I want some red to show off the bottom. So I'm going to just lay this down on a piece of red. I don't even need any along the top. I'm going to have the red visible on the bottom of this little piece. So I'm going to come back in with my scissors and just leave a little shadow. I think that little red shadow is fun. And sometimes little details like this are really helpful. I want the spoon to be red, so I also need a little bit of red to repeat in my design. So now I'm going to put adhesive now on the red section that I've just added. I'm not going to fasten this down yet. This is going to go in this position and then get trimmed off. It helps me though to see if I have trimmed enough of the black patterned paper. I need to lay this back down. I can see that I have. So I'm going to go ahead. I also decided that I like the mug better without having the pattern on the handle. So even though initially I cut it out so it all matched, I'm going to trim off the handle so that I just have the patterned paper, and I'm going to go ahead and place this back onto the mug. So just lining up the edges and the bottom. Now I opted to only decorate the front, but if you want to decorate the back, you could do the same thing on what will be the back of this. Now I'm going to go ahead and place the detail on the top of the mug. I want some of that white to show. And then I'll trim off the excess, any place that sticks out. So I end up with a nice looking mug or cup. Now it's time to look at how to make it dimensional. The dimensionality comes, and I've used a die that Eileen Hull designed, and I think it's genius. If the die is not still available, you'll see that you can actually cut your own as well. The die comes and it cuts both of these shapes. So it will cut the shape for something that has a lot of bends, like maybe you want to make a candy box in the shape of a heart. Something that's going to curl and bend is helpful to have all of these notches. This one is the one that I used, and I'm only going to fold on what will be the bottom, and then if I were going to curl this around, I could fold more. But basically, you need a strip that is as wide as you want your holder to be, and then add a 1/2 inch to both ends, as you can see, and then score it every place you're going to want to fold it. So if you're going to continue to fold in a curl, let's say you're doing a vase or a pitcher that has a curl or a heart or some other rounded shape, you then go back and you cut out these notches that allow you to be able to fold it and curl it. I only need the fold in this one spot. So what I'm going to do now, these tabs are where you're going to add the adhesive. So I'm going to lay it flat. You can see that this, if you didn't have the die, to me, I use this die all the time. It's well worth it. But like I said, if it's not still available, it's an easy enough thing for you to do and cut this by hand. And thank you so much, Eileen, for thinking of this, because this is a cool idea that works for every shape. So now what I'm going to do is turn it over, and I'm going to position this so that, and I'm going to have to turn this toward me so I can see. But once I have it placed in position, I will turn it so you can see it as well. I want the bottom and the sides to clear the edges of my die cut. So I'm going to just follow the line of my design and press on it, and do the same thing on this side. And then I'm going to turn it so you can really see what I've got. You can see here that I haven't gone right to the bottom, although I could have gone even a little bit lower. I may decide, if this is wobbly and doesn't want to stand, I may decide to straighten that out with scissors. So if you look, you can see I've just gone right to the edge and pressed down. And I think what I'll do is show this to you on the inside. So you can see it's all pressed down, all these edges, and it just mimics the shape along the outside. And then now I'm going to take the matching die cut shape and place it over the top. That's why I put the adhesive already. These are already folded, and it's ready to accept this matching die cut shape. So all I want to do is pull these in, lay this over top. I think it's easiest to just do one side at a time. So I'm going to lay this down, make sure I've just gone right along the edge of the cup, and then press, come around to the other side. Once again, I'm going to pull out the edges so that I can go right to the edge of the design. And then I'm going to stick my hand in here so that I can get good, strong adhesion on all of those flaps. So now, and see how, remember I mentioned that I left the shape of the mug curled, and it really is going to work better if I flatten it out. So I'm going to start with the one that's not decorated and just kind of flatten out that shape. Yep, it's going to be better. And then do the same thing, flatten out the front of this one so it sits nice and flat. Now it's just a question of adding all of the details. If you look at this, you can see this was simply a circle, and I cut a lighter shade and added what looks like the wedges to turn this into a lemon, and then just cut it right from the edge to the center, which allows me to then be able to add this lemon wedge. You're going to fill it with the tea bags and the sweetener, and the final touch is with a white pen. You're going to add your message, and I say have, see if I can hold this so you can still sort of see what I'm doing. Have a, and then I'm going to write Beau, B-E-A-U, dot, tea, as in the tea bags, full day. So when I turn it back so you can see it, have a beautiful day. And now it just is going to get sitting. If you have enough tea bags and it's enough sitting inside here, it should just sit up. So you can place it inside. I'm going to add my lemon wedge back. Now this is using the mug shape, but I thought it might be helpful for you to see that it translates to other shapes. And I really should have picked something completely different. I don't know, I guess I wasn't thinking. But just using like a tall drinking glass, once again, instead of the spoon, maybe you have straws that you want to stick inside. Packages of Crystal Light or lemonade mix. You can add stir sticks if they have to get stirred in. All kinds of fun things. And this is done the same way with the same tool. Just folded and matching. Amazingly simple, but really a cool thing to do. You know, it's easy to convert flat shapes into dimensional holders, and that offers the perfect place to store tea or any other cool thing that you might want to send. What a beautiful gift to give a friend.